Hi, guys, and welcome to Scorpio Rising. I'm Heidi Kemper, psychic medium.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cathy Metry, psychic intuitive. We're very excited. This is our second podcast, and we have a very special guest today, Ivy Abrams. And Heidi, I know that you brought this special guest on, so if you would just tell everybody a little bit about Ivy, I'm sure they're going to be very excited with some of her skills.
So, just a little bio about Ivy. She is a certified intuitive. She's a psychic. She considers herself a trained shamanic practitioner, a card reader, a soul coach, energy and light worker, and she's also a Reiki practitioner. So, she's got lots of little things in her bag. And I'd like to introduce Ivy. Ivy, come on down. You're the next contestant.
Hey, everybody.
There she is.
Hey, Ivy.
Hi,
Hi.
Cathy. Hi, Heidi.
Welcome, honey. So happy to have you. I love your background. Can you tell us a little bit about your background right behind you? What do you got going on? So many beautiful things.
Thank you. Well, my horse drum I made. Horse is really like a very important spirit animal for me and a friend from many, many lives ago. And it was actually very emotional to make. It really took me a couple weeks to get over the weeping. So we're buddies. The hide was matched to me by somebody that does that kind of work, and it's just very meaningful. So that's my frame drum, also known as a shaman drum, and I use that in shamanic ceremony. That's when he isn't weeping and warping. I had to use my Remo faux drum at a drum circle Sunday that I did a journey for, but so that's in the background there. In front of it is Archangel. I think this one's Raphael. Yep, I got Michael
Love that.
here. And I work with the angels as well. And my eagle, seen from a higher perspective. You might see the wolves a little bit.
Love that. Love that. And what's the
Beautiful.
painting with the feathers? There's a painting with feathers.
I always loved feathers. And I get a lot of feathers from spirit, as I know you do and many others do.
So do I. Yeah, that's my sign. If I'm having a day or I need some extra support, I'll find a feather. That's like my little sign from spirit. You know, we're on the right path. Everything's fine. Everything's going to be good. So, and I actually just found a feather when I sat down earlier, a little white one. So Cathy's got a really pretty, fluffy, feathery couch, and every now and again a little feather will come out. So yeah, so really happy to have you here today, honey. I'd love to hear about some beautiful things that you offer. One is your soul sessions and your one-on-one soul sessions and your coaching. I'd love to hear more about that and how that works and what goes down when you have those sessions.
So the sessions, I would say, are the spiritual version of therapy, but we're really working with energy. And I work with people that have no experience in, shamanism or even the spiritual world. I have therapist clients, other practitioners, as well as, just everyday people. But I do work, my clientele is women only, predominantly, I will say predominantly. And the one-on-one session, so we work with the energy. If somebody is having a struggle with something or trying to create something in their life, it's the energy that's in the way of where they're at and where they want to be. And we work with moving that out and shifting that so that they can attract and bring in what will be helpful for them, if that makes sense.
How does it work?
How does the energy work?
Yeah, how do you do it? Yes.
So particularly, I would say with some clients, some of my success stories, I've had several clients that have opened their own practice that worked with me for 1 or 2 years, either in soul sessions or in my moon ceremonies, which I know we'll talk about later. I've had people that have been alcoholics or suicidal. The alcoholic gave up their alcohol. The other person has thanked me, thankfully, for saving their life. There's different things. For myself, I will tell you that I got my dream job, my dream house. I manifested my husband of 25 years. a child that was given to me, literally given to me when I wasn't able to have my own baby 23 years ago. So just
Beautiful.
amazing. It's amazing when we work with energy.
So do you think that is it blocking, unblocking energy? Is it residual energy? Where does it, how do you know it's there?
Great question. So a lot of it is, I believe, unpeeling and removing layers because we get so hidden behind what we're taught growing up, possibly from religious institutions, family, peers, media that creates the being that we have become. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not always our authentic self. So we have to peel away those layers, which include old stories that we tell ourselves, stories other people give us to define who we are that really aren't true. And once we remove those, that's removing the fear and the doubt. And then we're able to.
Are you saying there's an energy that it's not a mental, it's not really a mental issue. It's caught up in your auric field. I mean, where is it?
It's a good way of putting it. I got chills. Like, I love how you said that, in the auric field. So
Yes.
it is. It's just like you hear like attract like, like attracts like, or if somebody is really down and out and they're saying, oh, I want to find a great job or a great partner, but they're putting out really low energy, really low vibrations themselves, they're not going to have the success in attracting what they really want. So when they shift that, they can.
So Ivy, just for the viewers, point of view, having them understand how you work in a shamanic way. So how I understand it is you're going in to theta consciousness.
Correct.
And you're connecting with your guides. So can you kind of speak to that so that they understand? So if they were to come for a one-on-one soul session with you, what would that look like? And just kind of explain that, because I think that is kind of what would hold people back from our kind of work, is maybe not understanding the titles of it. First of all, shamanism, like, let's talk about that. And how would you explain what shamanism is?
So shamanism is one of the original holistic healing that ever existed amongst indigenous cultures, and it began in Siberia. It's a very old healing modality. And when we work as a shaman, and I call myself a shamanic practitioner, when we work as a shaman, we're working with the earth, the elements, and what we call our spirit guides. So that might be animals, and it might be other guides that we have. So what I do in the soul session is a little bit of everything. I work differently than anybody I know in this sense, but I like to go in prior to the session and tune in for the client. And then I will do, if there's some clearing with their permission, some energy clearing, and I'll be shown by spirit things that, need to be talked about and worked on. And they'll give me a little bit of background first, like a paragraph or two of what they hope to focus on. And I always say I can tune in, but I'd like to fine tune. So if you give me a little background, then I can fine tune. So that's prior to our session, right? And then we go on for about 45 minutes and we work through it. And I give homework, which is optional. What you put into it is going to affect the outcome, being an active participant in your healing and in your energy change.
Right. Beautiful.
So I have to say that at least I've read this, you can tell me if this is true. Is it true that most people that find they are a shaman have an actual calling? Did you have a calling?
I always have had a calling. I've always been very intuitive since I was a little girl, and a psychic. And I did actually see my first spirit animal at age 5, which helped me through some trauma.
Aww.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So how did you, when you saw the spirit animal, which could I ask who your spirit animal is?
Well, I don't have the same spirit animals that I have as a child. I had a very large dog, the size of, I don't know, maybe a few mansions, like a huge dog that was protecting me outside of a window in a place that I wasn't safe. And I also had a monster that kept me inside of it, but I didn't call it a spirit animal then. I didn't know what it was. And the monster would come in my dreams all the time and say, you can hide inside of me anytime and I'll protect you. But I didn't know what it was then.
Wow.
Chills. Wow,
And he let me
that's
out his
beautiful.
foot on the bottom. It's like pretty bizarre, but yeah, it's cool stuff.
And
Without
then
going into detail, Ivy, when you told that, I got chills from head to toe, and that is just absolutely beautiful. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
so who is your spirit animal now? Or do you have several?
I have several. Animals and several guides. My predominant one that I work with in soul retrieval, we don't usually share what that animal is. Some people choose to. So I have one particular one that works with me on the soul retrievals. But I would like to say, if I may, a little bit about spirit animals for those listening. A lot of people don't know who their spirit animal is, and we can go on a shamanic journey and we can meet one. But I want to say, if you have around your house, if you notice you're collecting in your decor elephants, right? So that's probably one of your spirit animals.
No, I'm laughing because Cathy will attest to this, and it makes me laugh because just the other day we were at my house playing a numbers game. And I looked around and I'm looking and I'm like, rabbits. Okay, rabbits. Okay, it's Easter, so I have rabbits. But no, I keep that rabbit out year round. And oh, I keep that rabbit out year round. And I look around and I looked at Cathy and I go, oh my gosh, I just realized a rabbit is one of my spirit animals. And it's just hitting me. Like, how did I not? I mean, I probably have 20 rabbits in my house. Be a picture, an ornament, a statue, whatever. And it's funny. Pillows of rabbits. So yes,
Isn't
it's so
that
funny. So
great?
people don't even realize
Right.
what some of their spirit animals are. But something that we can teach people that we learned in our class with Lori is usually when you go into a meditation, or as a shaman would call it, a journey, you will go to the lower world usually, and that is where, Cathy, you'll set the intention before you go into meditation. You'll say, I want to learn who my spirit animal is. And again, like Ivy said, you can have multiple, just like your spirit guides you can have multiple guardian angels or spirit guides, whatever. I use those words interchangeably. So a spirit animal would be they would show at least 3 times in that meditation. And so if you see an animal more than 3 times, usually that would be your spirit animal at that time. And so it can come to you at how I understand it is it can come to you at different times of your life based on what you're going through, things that it might help you through. So if you're going through a really stressful time, a certain animal might show up. For me right now, the lion is really huge for me. It keeps showing up and showing itself, reminding me to be fierce, reminding me to, that I'm powerful and I have power within me. And then again, for soul retrieval, you and I took that course together. I never heard that you weren't supposed to share who your animal is. I always have.
Some people feel that way. I actually don't usually mind sharing mine, but I work a lot with wild cats. I always have. And of course, they're all over my decor I laugh because I have my first one statue from, I'll just say like over 40 years ago. And now my daughter has it of, a cheetah. And she's like, Mom, can I have that? Like, yeah,
Aww.
I was her age, when I had it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And I will, like, for my Akashic records, I have a different spirit guide that watches over that. So.
Oh, I love that.
So I could count about 6 elephant clocks and probably about 3 or 4 elephant paintings in my house.
So I'm thinking
So-
maybe.
And a couple bronzes and different elephant, everything.
Yeah,
But I never thought of it as a
Yeah.
spirit animal.
Yeah.
There's a connection for you, and it may, maybe something from another life, and it may not. Sometime we even our decor might, if we have a Moroccan decor, we like Native American art. All of these things can play into that.
Totally, totally. Or your aversion to it. So for example, Asian decor for me, it's an aversion. I don't, it just doesn't vibe with me. So you'll never find any Asian type decor in my home. I appreciate the look for other people, but for myself, and I have learned that there's been some traumas for me in past lives in Asia in particular. So that's probably why there's an aversion there. So that would be something that would be interesting to work on with you one of these days too.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's funny that you said Native American, because my Native American collection is insane. So the fact that you said that to me was, elephants to Native American. I mean, you can't imagine the Native American jewelry I have, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I have an attachment spiritually to it.
Yes.
I mean, it's interesting that you said that.
Maybe
So-
we were
Turquoise.
together, Kathy. I definitely know I have a Lakota life and a lot of connection there. Yeah.
Yes. So
Very cool.
I'm dying to hear about your moon ceremonies. Of course, being the moon child that I am, I want to participate in the next one. So tell me, and Heidi and I have done some absolutely blow your mind, amazing manifestations through some full moon nights over
And new
here.
moon,
It's
yeah.
been amazing. But we're not here to talk about that. I want to hear all about your
That's
moon
okay.
ceremony.
That energy of the moon is the perfect time to do that. And that's why I love the moon ceremonies. So I had an office in Ferndale for a couple of years, part of my lights, guys. But when
You have
COVID,
magical lights too?
magic,
How does
yes.
this work?
Woo, woo.
What's with the magical lights? What do you have on clap off?
Oh, and my husband, when you walk in the room and whatever. But yeah, so we did them in the office for a couple years. And then COVID hit and I went all virtual, and it's still been phenomenal. And I do a few in-person events a year with clients that I already have worked with or met, at least on Zoom. So I always do the full moon for 7 years now. We've done the full moon every month. The
And
new
I
moon I'm not as
participated, and they're
consistent.
beautiful.
Yes, I've loved having you, Heidi. Your energy, of course, is awesome sauce. And you were at the solstice as well in the backyard, which was wonderful.
Yes.
So yeah, we work with pretty much what I was speaking about before, the energy shift. But everybody gets to work on their own stuff. So it's a women's circle shamanic journey, or AKA guided meditation, if you will. And I work with everybody getting grounded, getting in the theta state so that they're relaxed and the monkey mind isn't going. And you can really allow spirit and allow the energy to do what it needs to do. And we manifest, and when we look at our future and what we're desiring and capable of, we again need to move out. So we'll transmute it in some kind of element, usually in the journey and in the guided imagery. And at the end, people like to take notes of their experiences and keep coming back to work on it. I don't know if that explained well enough.
It's beautiful.
No, it's really beautiful. So, and I did have the opportunity to peek in one day actually join you with Heidi.
Yeah.
Heidi and I were together, and it was
Yeah.
really magnificent. And that you were able to give a little bit of an analysis for everyone after the meditation, which I thought was very interesting.
Thank
The
you.
little cards. Yeah.
Oh, we do the card pulls at the end. The group seems to like that. I pull a card for everybody. So, we get a small group, and some people can make one night or another. And sometimes spirit will come through. So I don't promote myself as a medium or advertise or have a service as a medium. but spirit does come through sometime for clients on the one-on-one or in moon ceremony, and that's kind of fun too.
Nice.
So something I wanted to take this opportunity to ask you about working with clients, because you've been doing it a lot longer than I have, Ivy. And sometimes, I think it's normal to have clients who really come to you and they really want help, but there are sometimes where you meet a roadblock when you're working with a client. And I just wanted to kind of pick your brain, how you work through that, how you push through that, because I find that, trying to really get into theta consciousness, get into that state, it's hard sometimes because ego will kind of sneak in, and you sometimes find yourself going, I feel a little stuck. And so how do you work through those moments?
Well, some clients right from the beginning, I'll refer them out. I just feel like energetically it's not a match for them or for me. They might feel that, I might feel that, and that's.
So you do a consultation before you meet with your clients, which I found interesting.
Optional.
So,
Yes.
okay.
It's optional to have a 10-minute free consultation if you want to see if we're a match.
Okay.
Most people don't, because they're either referral or they've, just seen me or heard about me and they're okay going in. But there are a couple people that want to do that, and that's fine. As far as a roadblock, I think once I'm working with somebody, it seems to go pretty smoothly, but I do a different format.
What
Can
is
you
that
speak
format?
about that? Yeah.
Pardon me?
Can you talk about that, what your format is?
Well, kind of what I said is just tuning in prior and then talking with the client, and we kind of go back and forth. And, during the session, I'll, tune in as well. So maybe I'm not real sure what the question is, but.
So for example, it hasn't happened many times, but I can think of 2 times, but when I was thinking of that question to ask you, I can think of 2 times that I kind of was getting to the point where I was a little stumped. I felt like the client maybe was resistant to hearing what I was saying. Maybe not ready to hear what I was saying. And so sometimes I think it's about planting the seed, but sometimes I think it's about just sitting, being present, listening, and allowing God or spirit, like I said, to just come through and tell you the next step or the right words to say. That's why I always set the intention, for Archangel Gabriel to help me with the words and help me use the right words with the client. So I don't know. I just feel like every now and again, I've had those clients where I just feel that resistance and just really feeling like, okay, it's time to have a heart-to-heart conversation here. There was one client I was speaking with, and I felt like the first half hour of the reading, it was like she was testing me and testing my ability as a medium. And I finally had to say to her, listen, you've already paid for this session. I'm here to help you. I feel like you came to, help and have some guidance from me. So let's take a step back and let's just figure out what's going on here. And she sat there and she's like, you're right. I am being really kind of confrontational because you just work a little bit differently than I work because I'm a medium too. Well, it came out in the discussion that she was a medium herself, and she had expected me to show up the way that she shows up. And we just don't work the same way. And so once I was able to have that conversation with her, things just broke open, things just broke loose, and we were able to have that discussion. So that's one of the roadblocks. Another roadblock I had was, sometimes you see things that maybe people are not ready to see. For example, relationships that maybe are going awry in their life, and the guidance you're getting is that they need to cut that person out of their life, or they need to distance themselves from that person. And so sometimes people aren't ready to hear that advice. So I just kind of wondered, how you
So
approach that.
Okay, good question. Really good question. And let's see. So I'm going to answer the second one because now I had an answer for the first. But yeah, so as far as like if somebody shouldn't be in their life, so what spirit will show me is this person, there's something else going on. Like, I've gotten that where there's something else going on with this person. So just be aware that there's something outside of the relationship or outside of the box that you need to keep an eye on. That I'm not
Gotcha.
going to say to somebody necessarily, this has to end. I don't
Right.
do that. And I'm not
Right.
shown that. I am shown sometimes you need to stay with this person for now. I've seen people like they're going to just crumble without this person. They need to be with them for now. And then when
Right.
they're ready, one particular client, so when she was ready, she made the move to break off the relationship. But when I
Right.
first started to see her, I don't know that she could have stood up without that. And
Right.
Spirit shows us little bits, and I'm not shown some things for reasons.
Right.
Again, and I know you know this, Heidi, ethically too, I don't go into somebody else's energy field. Like I have a lot of people, oh, can you look at my husband or my boyfriend or, not really. I can look into your energy and what's good for you, which might include those people. And I know I
Right.
got a little off the topic of what you asked, but that came.
No, that's perfect. That's a great segue to ethics. Ethically, ethics is huge and a very big part of the work that we do. And if we don't do things ethically, bad things come out of negative. Negative brings negative, like you said, like brings like, right? So, I think that's something to talk about with Akashic Records is that when you read somebody's Akashic Records, you read their Akashic Records and how that person fits in their life, but you can't really peek into somebody else's Akashic Records without their approval. I think that's what you're kind of getting at, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And even with the soul retrieval, that's a whole nother thing, but you have other people involved because your parent might have taken part of your soul without realizing it, or your partner might have taken part without realizing, or your child, and so you have all these different branches.
Right.
Going back to speaking about what you're seeing, and I will just tell you one of the ways that I've handled it when Spirit is telling me, no, they're not ready. What I try to do is figure out the block. And 9 times out of 10, they're not ready because of fear or sadness, or they're attached to some sort of depression. Whatever it may be, that's where then I go in and I ask Spirit to help me clear the fear. And so I go in a different direction and I have Spirit show me how I can clear the fear right then and there, and then dive in from the back end.
Beautiful.
And get the message across, right? And sometimes I am just told, you're not going to say it, period. But generally, I try to go in from the back end. So I ask Spirit to give me the block. Once I can figure out the block, I can go in and I can get the message, let it pound home, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think that helps.
I think too, for my, the approach I like to take is I'm not your yes ma'am kind of person. I'm going to lay it on the table. I'm going to do so with compassion and with kindness. But if you're coming to me, I'm going to tell you the truth.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean,
exactly.
like you ladies said, you don't have to give every detail, but you need to tell the truth of what Spirit shows us, right? Yeah.
And I think the other piece to it too is the energy that you come in with. So when we do a reading, we have to be at our best self. So yesterday I had a little GI bug. I was not feeling well yesterday. I had 2 clients I had to cancel and I had to reschedule. It was not going to serve their highest good to meet in that way. I wasn't going to serve them well. So I need to go in with a good energetic vibe, but they have to come in with a good energetic vibe. So for example, that woman coming in who was also a medium, her vibe before she even came on, which I found out later, her client referred her to have a reading with me of 20 years. So she had been reading for this woman for 20 years. And then she went to her and said, "Oh, I met this other medium. She's great. You got to go to her." So then she went to me, but there was something in her saying, "Oh," like comparing herself to me. And it's like, no, that's not what this is about. Don't make a, why are we here? So energetically, she went into it maybe not with the best of intention, which is why there was a little bit of that block. So I think it's important also for the client to be in a, it takes both sides. We both got to be in our best form. And sometimes maybe we're not. So I think for us it's important, but the client, sometimes they aren't able to have that insight.
That's a good point, and that's a great reminder, Heidi, that we do encourage, especially for the deeper work, clients to not have alcohol or drugs, recreational, 24 to 48 hours before, say, a soul retrieval, and it's not really great for Akashic readings either. So
Right.
Let alone any reading. It absolutely is. I mean, Heidi and I did, oh my gosh, we did a big event, and by the end of the night, there were quite a few altered personalities coming in. And it got to a point that it was so confusing in my psychic field.
Yeah.
That I was like, "So your Aunt Betty," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Betty's still here from the last reading."
oh my God.
and it starts to confuse everything, which is very interesting because it really tells you when you are when there's substance abuse around you, confusion reigns, the enemy reigns, and things cannot be clear in your life. It is so important. So being a reader and watching from an alternative level, looking in from a way that other people aren't looking at, you can really see it at work. You can see confusion reign. You can just see all of these, auric fields open for anything to come in.
Yeah.
So I digress a little bit, but
No.
that is a really important part of, and you mentioned alcoholism.
Yeah.
And,
so Kathy, that was a
think
Halloween party that we did. It was a Halloween party. It was at a bar, and it started out great. Everybody came in. Nobody had drank yet. Readings were going great, and then the vibe just went woo. So yeah, it's not the best atmosphere to do it in, and that is why we limit those kinds of activities. But of course, Halloween time, everybody wants us to come and read and wants all of our energy, because it's the time of year everybody's into all that stuff. But yeah.
So, and I think the alcoholism, and the biggest part of that is I also see people as any event that I'm doing, that as it progresses, right? People get fearful. They get more fearful. They doubt themselves more, where without alcohol, just coming in and they're clear and they're pure. So what I'm seeing is that when you're looking in spiritually, you can see how important it is for people to temper that part of their lives and what they're putting in their body. Because all of it, you're putting in doubt, you're putting in fear, or you're opening up that field to get in. And I think that's so important to bring up, that it's not just that you're a drunken idiot. It's that you're really hurting your soul, you're hurting your spirit, you're hurting your person of who you are, your clarity.
So to have a clean vessel, and this doesn't mean that I'm certainly not putting down social drinking or recreational drugs. That's to each person, but we're just saying predominantly for a reading, because we know that it does change things. And there is a reason they call it spirits.
Yeah.
Their people do let go and behave a little bit differently. But anyway, that's to the extreme we're talking.
So for the matter of time, Ivy, I think we just want to pop in maybe one or two more questions and then wrap it up. I'd love to talk about, since we're talking about energy clearing, about your energy work. And I think as practitioners, being a psychic medium, the kind of work I do, the kind of work Cathy does as a psychic intuitive, it's really important that we protect our energy, that we clear our energy before and after we work with our clients. So can you speak a little bit about that? And have you ever had an attachment after working with someone? Would you be able to speak to that?
I have not had an attachment. I have had some dark energy when I maybe forgot to clear and rushed out.
Yes, same.
So I guess it might be that you would call that an attachment. I don't know, but
Yeah.
And even feeling just, off and then going, oh, wow, whoa, wow. So yeah, clearing the energy. And I don't know if you've gone over what that is, but there's different ways we can do it. Just, connecting with the divine and clearing our energy field. And before and after clients, but also, the clients I work with, I think almost every client I need to teach to clear their energy, because they might be living in a toxic environment where they really can't help it but to live there at this time with family members or some, it might be a spouse, it might be parents, they might be taking care of someone elderly, but they're in the household with energy, and that's really hard. It's really hard to grow in a toxic environment. It's like the analogy, if you were to plant a seed into, contaminated soil, it's not going to grow.
Right.
So that's like a lot of clearing, morning and night. And I will just say also the big game changer for me, what I tell everyone as well, is gratitude.
Yes.
Nice.
Gratitude is the best attitude.
Right. How would you tell me to clear my energy?
I would probably have you call in divine light. So I like to work with the light of the creator. And for everyone, that might be a different word or no word at all. So I will use creator, source of all that is, or universe. Some people might use God or Mother Earth or Jesus or Buddha or Hashem, or I don't know. But when you fill yourself with the light, then I would have the person releasing low energies and low vibrations, releasing and transmuting it so that it's not just sitting out around you. And
how do you transmute? Let me just stop, because I know viewers are going to want to know.
Everything is done with intention. If the intention is there, it's done. And you want to go in with knowing that it's done, not maybe is it done. Like I say, thank you for taking it. Just like I'll thank the archangels in advance because I know it's done. I know what they're doing. It's embodying that whole thing, everything intention, ceremonies intention, clearings intention.
So if I have the intention to just give me an idea of an intention.
So if you were to maybe close your eyes, even if you only had, 3 minutes, in the beginning you might start with 10 and then 5, and after a while you could really do it in 2 or 3, is just feeling the loving white light of the creator flowing through you, and feel it moving the low energies out, feeling the low vibration. You literally can sense it, and it's just leaving you so that you've got this beautiful divine feeling inside. That's just the light of the creator, and it's coming out your fingertips and it's coming out of your feet, and you're just filled with this divine love that's beautiful.
So you just did that naturally. You just did that naturally for me. I don't know if you saw me. I closed my eyes, and as you're talking, I'm just clearing my energy. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're just a natural. You just have that vibration that's always there and always ever present. And you're just such a gift to the world and such a gift to me. And I'm so grateful to have you as my friend. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you both. You're both
such an honor.
Gifts.
And we'd love to have you on again. And we'll do lunch again soon. Can you tell everybody how anybody wants to book a reading with you or an
Sure.
appointment, how they can find you?
So my website, which needs a little updating, but it's mysticalsoulwork.com. My events and my work is mostly on Facebook, which is a Mystical Soul Work page. And they can reach out, or at ivy@mysticalsoulwork.com is my email.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And we'll also have the little information at the bottom of the screen after, if people want, with a link for Ivy's website. And I have a friend who does wonderful websites. If you need a referral, just let me know. But anyway, we'll wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. Cathy, you want to close us up for today?
Thank you, Ivy. It's been wonderful. No, I wanted to close it up where we did a 1 minute, like not even a 1 minute, but just a quick meditation to, with an intention, just so our audience could do it with us.
That's a great idea. Ivy, you want to lead us with just like a close? Let's do it.
So we're calling in the loving white light of the source of all that is, coming down like a spotlight upon the top of your head, allowing it to move into your face and your neck, shoulders, upper arms, elbows, lower arms, into your hands and out your fingertips, knowing that this white light is moving out and transmuting any and all low energies, any and all low vibrations, any cords other than those that serve our highest good, thus the highest good of all that is. As we release any and all dis-ease from our mind, body, and soul, allowing this white light to fill our torso and move into our legs, all the way down to our feet, and allowing this white light to cleanse and purify us, again, releasing any low energies. As we connect deep into Mother Earth, feeling this spotlight of the Creator through our whole being, and we are now clear and at peace.
Namaste.
Namaste, my friends.
All right.
Amen. And you know what was so wonderful about that is I felt a lot of tingling going on. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, ladies.
All right, honey. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.